Hello, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Sean Zimmerman-Wall, and I'm with AIARE's Professional Training Program. Today we're going to discuss some information to get you prepared for Pro 1 registration for the 26-27 season. Now, the information contained in here will cover a number of topics, and what you can expect over the next 15 minutes is an overview of the professional avalanche education landscape, what to expect before, during, and after a Pro 1 course, and where does a Pro 1 certification lead. Now, if you've made it this far, you're probably already quite familiar with the avalanche education streams in the United States, but I want to introduce you to two important organizations if you're not familiar. The first being the American Avalanche Association. The A3 is our industry's professional membership organization and governing body. They are nonprofit with a mission of promoting professionalism, expertise, and knowledge within the avalanche industry for the benefit of all who work, play, or travel in avalanche country. AIARE is also a nonprofit and is a curriculum provider that delivers professional training in the United States. Our mission is saving lives through avalanche education. This complementary mission statement with the A3 allows us to produce a number of courses each season, both Pro 1 and Pro 2, and we are one of 6 approved providers in the United States. But you're on a journey to becoming an avalanche professional or are already working in the industry on a regular basis. To get to this point, you've had to take a few steps. You've taken your level 1 course and an avalanche rescue course. You've gained on-the-job experience or taken an internship or volunteer position somewhere to gain that experience. And now you're at the Pro 1. Beyond this course, you will also need more job experience and training to take the next course, which is the Pro Level 2. And there are additional courses along the way, but these are what are widely recognized as foundational to contributing team members and leaders across the avalanche industry. So what can you expect on a Pro 1 course? Well, before, you have an application portfolio as well as preparation. During, we'll talk about the different cohort sizes you can expect and the venue options, as well as how your trainer team will engage you, and what it looks like after with your evaluation process. So let's dig in. The application portfolio has a number of prerequisites, along with a resume, documentation, paying the American Avalanche Association student fee, agreeing to our policies, and waiver and medical disclosure. Let's start with the changes to the prerequisites. Up until this point, you've been able to use your backcountry experience as relevant experience. That is changing this year, and you will need 20 days of documented experience through one of the following ways. Either prior work experience, where you've been part of an avalanche operation, an internship or some sort of volunteer work where you are managing avalanche risk, or you've shadowed a course perhaps, such as an avalanche education course. Maybe you've worked with an avalanche center producing some awareness materials. Maybe you've gotten to go up and shadow a ski patrol or a forecasting team, or even go out as an observer with some members of the forecast center. Any of these in combination can also support you. However, you will need a letter of recommendation from those institutions and somebody who is supervising you to speak to your candidacy for the course. The other prerequisite change is that your level 1 course cannot be within the same year as your Pro 1. So it will have needed to come from a season prior to the upcoming. These are to allow for all candidates to have the experience to have applied what they learned in that level 1 course and gotten some insight into what it's like to work in the avalanche industry, which is broad across the United States and even to other parts of North America. So in your resume is where you will catalog this information. Those 20 days will be written into a tabular format along with a small narrative about how you've applied your experience. In addition to this, we'll require 3 days of documentation supporting some of those days in the field. These can be things from a field book. They can be observations submitted to an avalanche center. They could also be a compilation of snow profiles, but that will all be turned into one document and sent in. The American Avalanche Association also needs to receive a small fee to support the ongoing development of these programs from an administrative level. And that $100 fee goes to offset the costs of organization. In addition to these, you will need to agree to some of our policies, as well as our essential eligibility criteria and cancellation. In terms of waiver, that is something that we give to you up front so you can understand the risks associated with taking a course, as well as a medical disclosure so we understand if there's anything that might keep you from attending the course in your full capacity. And anything that changes in between the time you register and the time that you take the course will also need to be given to the area administration. So what to expect on the course? Well, the Pro 1 course is a 5-day format. That's about 45 contact hours, about 2/3 of which will take place outdoors. These are town-based and lodge-based courses where we sometimes use mechanized assist. That could be a snowcat, could be the chairlifts at a ski area. Most of our cohort sizes in classes are 12 to 18 depending on the venue. And that is 1 trainer for every 6 students approximately. Our field groups will not exceed 6 people in size plus a trainer. The trainers themselves come from a wide array of different backgrounds in the industry: ski patrollers, guides, educators, forecasters, and the like. They will engage with you on a pre-course webinar and throughout the days leading up to the course through our Google Classroom platform. They will also see you on the first day of the course in the classroom, setting up learning expectations as well as the course agenda, and then accompany you into the field. They will also be your examiners on the course, and those examinations take place at different parts throughout the course. More on that soon. After the show is over, you can expect a written evaluation telling you how you performed, as well as comments and next steps, including some conditions that you would have experienced on the course to set the context. Afterwards, if you are successful in all evaluated components, you will receive a certificate of training that is recognized by the American Avalanche Association and many employers across North America. Ultimately, we also want you to stay connected to AIARE, and that means that you'll be part of our continued evolution as an organization, and we want to be there as a supporting mechanism for you in your professional growth. So, what about on the course? What does it look like to be evaluated to a standard? The professional level training is designed for a wide spectrum of avalanche workers. It could be early in your career where you're seeking mentorship, or you could be a well-experienced worker looking to update your skills to match these evolving industry standards and provide even more accurate mentorship. The Pro 1 course has specific learning outcomes, and each one is designed to make you a better contributing member of a team. This is a national certification, and it has written and performance exams. But ultimately, our philosophy is we enter into this course assuming a growth mindset. We teach and you can ask questions. We then demo and you can watch and emulate. We coach you so you can improve. And at the end, we evaluate you and you show your ability to perform to the standard. The Pro 1 is broken up into 4 categories. The first is avalanche rescue. The avalanche rescue exam has changed over the years, but is currently at a 7-minute or less pass-fail criteria. But this is more than just a timed exam. You can also fail with poor technique even if you beat the clock. You are allowed 1 retest during the course if time allows and the instructor team has the ability to do so. Otherwise, you will need to retest outside of the course environment at your own expense. That can be done usually regionally, depending on where you're located. You're allowed 3 total attempts. Otherwise, you will retake the Pro 1. Category 2. This is the observations and recording portion, and about 40% of the total grade, where you're required to have a 70% categorical pass. Items contained here are your documentation in your field book and your overall portfolio. You will be examined on your snow profile craft and your snowpack tests. You will have avalanche occurrence documentation and an avalanche path identification exercise that will also be graded. Now, you've probably heard that the snow profile exam is quite rigorous, and it is. However, you have plenty of time prior to the course to get good at your technique and refine it during the course. One of the biggest mistakes that we see is people come here unpracticed without a flow. Now, our online learning components do have a flow that you can follow, as well as the important things to consider when you're performing this. But we do understand this is an early career course, and we want to be there to coach you, but ultimately you will be evaluated at the end. The other examinations are also about the communication of these observations. Not only that you see in the snow profile, but what you might see around you in terms of avalanche occurrence and around avalanche path identification. These are essential skills for workers in today's modern workplace. The third category, well, before I go on, let me let you know about those retests. The retesting of the snow profile and the snowpack tests are considered one unit, so if you do fall below the standard, you do have the opportunity to retest, although it'll be after the course. That will be at your expense, usually regionally, as I've said. But you will need to complete 3 profiles after the course to show how you've integrated the feedback that you will be given. All right, back to category 3. This is the hazard and risk assessment portion of the course. And it is, again, 40% of the total, but it's more or less a pass-fail category. And this is non-retestable. Operational forms that you'll perform each day are worth about 10 points. There are contributions to discussions and your field risk communication, showing your situational awareness, as well as some avalanche terrain ID and characterization exercises. This is all within some daily terrain management, and that is more of a pass-fail component. The way that the Pro 1 is structured is to allow for you to see a solid demonstration of each of the skills related to this category, but that you will be employing those same things in the field. This might be a departure check before you enter avalanche terrain. This might be utilizing navigational tools or assessing terrain that's right in front of you and your group, collaborating with them and making sure that you're approaching this terrain appropriately, or backing off as the case may be. These examined components occur both in the classroom and the field. In the classroom, these are things like our pre-trip meetings and our post-trip debriefs. You're expected to show up prepared to these meetings and be able to contribute your opinions and share that with others while respecting the opinions of the group and coming to alignment on your decisions. This is a non-retestable component because it takes place over multiple days in a group setting. The final category is a celebration of knowledge, also called a written exam. This is 70% or greater for you to pass, and it's done in a digital format, generally after the course is concluded. So you're able to have a short window of time when the course ends to when it's due. This allows for more field time on your in-person course, and if you do not pass it or are unsuccessful, you will be able to retest it at your own expense. Written exams are often what people also stress about, rightfully so. They can be rigorous. This one is, but it is multiple choice with a handful of short answer. And this will show your kind of overall knowledge of foundational and elemental information required of a modern professional avalanche worker at this level. With all of this, you will have completed your Pro 1, and if you are successful in all evaluation components, either during the course or afterwards, you will be given a certificate that is nationally recognized. This can help you gain work in a number of different fields. You could be a professional observer for an avalanche center where you're able to go out into the field, collect observations, and get paid for it. You might become a snowmobile tail guide or a human-powered tail guide. This opens the door for you to become an emergent avalanche educator. So you are able to take things like the AIARE instructor training course, where you can get skilled in teaching adults about avalanche education and contribute to the passing on of knowledge. You may become a ski patroller, or already are one, where you're out there managing avalanche terrain, usually from the top down, sometimes with explosives. But the important thing to consider is that you will be a contributing member who can manage their own personal risk and contribute to that of a team. This is an overview of what to expect on an AIARE Pro 1 course. We hope that it's been informative enough to get you going. Our applications will open and the process is all digital, but there is an application example currently included on our website where you can take a view of that so you can start getting your materials together and be ready to go on opening day. Our courses do fill quickly, but we do want you to prioritize a complete application over a quick one. Please reach out to us with any additional questions. We'll be around and we want to be a part of your continued development as you grow. Take care.